How to Write a Good Quantitative Research Proposal, Part 2. Conducting a literature review is a crucial step in developing a sound research proposal. It involves reviewing relevant literature in your field of study to identify the gaps in knowledge that your research can address. A thorough review of existing literature helps you establish the rationale for your study by showing how your research can contribute to existing knowledge. You can use various sources of information, including academic journals, books, and other reliable sources. It is essential to critically evaluate the quality and relevance of the sources to ensure that they are trustworthy and applicable to your study. Overall, conducting a comprehensive literature review is crucial for developing a solid foundation for your research and demonstrating its significance. Identifying the appropriate research design and methodology is a crucial step in any research project. Your research design should align with your research questions and hypotheses, as well as the overall goals of your study. You should also consider the availability and feasibility of data collection methods and resources. Your methodology should clearly outline how you will collect, analyze, and interpret your data, and include details on the instruments, procedures, and techniques that will be used. It is important to be transparent and rigorous in your methodology to ensure the validity and reliability of your findings. Additionally, you may need to justify your chosen methodology and design, and discuss any potential limitations or challenges that may arise during your research process. Developing a sampling plan is a crucial step in designing a quantitative research proposal. The sample size and sampling technique chosen should be appropriate for the research question and research design, and must be justified based on statistical power and practical feasibility. The researcher must also explain how participants will be recruited and selected, including any eligibility criteria, and how informed consent will be obtained. The sampling plan must also consider issues related to data quality and representativeness, such as potential biases and sources of error. It is important to clearly outline the sampling plan in the research proposal, as it provides the foundation for data collection and analysis. Defining variables and measurements is a critical step in a quantitative research proposal. In this step, you must clearly define the key concepts and variables that you will be investigating in your study. This involves developing operational definitions for the variables of interest, as well as identifying appropriate measures for each variable. It is essential to ensure that your measures are reliable and valid, as this will affect the accuracy and credibility of your results. You may also need to consider using existing measures or developing new ones, depending on the nature of your research questions and hypotheses. This step requires careful attention to detail and a thorough understanding of the concepts and constructs being investigated in your study. When conducting research, it is crucial to address ethical considerations to ensure the protection and welfare of human subjects. It is important to obtain informed consent from participants, explaining the nature of the study, potential risks and benefits, and their right to withdraw at any time. Confidentiality and anonymity should be maintained throughout the study to protect the privacy of participants, and measures should be taken to ensure that their personal information is not disclosed or misused. In addition, it is important to consider the potential risks and benefits of the study, and take steps to minimize any potential harm to participants. This may involve seeking approval from an institutional review board, IRB, or ethics committee to ensure that the study is conducted in an ethical and responsible manner. Developing a timeline and budget is an essential part of a good research proposal. It is important to create a realistic timeline for completing your study, taking into account the various stages of the research process and any potential obstacles or delays that may arise. You should also develop a budget that outlines the resources needed to conduct your research, including equipment, supplies, participant compensation, and travel expenses. It is important to consider both direct and indirect costs, such as administrative and overhead costs, when developing your budget. By developing a thorough timeline and budget, you can ensure that your study is feasible and that you have the necessary resources to conduct your research effectively. Writing a clear and concise proposal is essential for securing funding and approval for your research project. Your proposal should follow the format and guidelines provided by your institution or funding agency, and should clearly and concisely present your research questions, hypotheses, methodology, and expected outcomes. It should also include a detailed timeline and budget, as well as an explanation of how ethical considerations will be addressed. To ensure that your proposal is well written and effective, it may be helpful to have it reviewed by colleagues, mentors, or other experts in your field before submitting it for review. After completing the initial draft of your research proposal, it is essential to revise and edit it thoroughly. Review your proposal for clarity, coherence, and consistency, ensuring that all sections are linked together logically. Check your spelling, grammar, and punctuation carefully, and use a consistent citation style throughout your proposal. You may want to seek feedback from your peers, mentors, or colleagues to ensure that your proposal is easy to understand and effectively communicates your research plan. Finally, ensure that your proposal adheres to the guidelines and requirements set forth by your institution or funding agency before submitting it for review or approval. Please share my channel if this is helpful to you. Let's improve every day. Happy watching.